welcome to the Hostess Party. I am your host, Bridget B. Let me ask you a question. We're talking about persistence. Have you ever been on the road to your purpose and you just got tired? I mean, it just didn't end up like you thought it would be? Well, sometimes we just need to take a pause for a minute and kind of rejuvenate ourselves so we can get back on that path. Today, we're going to be talking about that with our guests. Sometimes you just need to laugh, because laughter is just like a medicine, huh? Come on, let's take our medicine. Let's start the show. Today's guests are a power couple in the Inland Empire. He is a comedian extraordinaire. If you haven't seen him, where have you been? And she is a manager and an owner of a comedy club. Come on and put your hands together and welcome to the show, Sizzle C and Miss Renita Ray. All right, so because you're a comedian, we will let you do that because that was funny. All right, so let's talk about it, okay? You guys are, well, you are a comedian.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
So you've been doing comedy all your life.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so when you started, were you the class clown? Were you that person that they kicked out of school? And...
You know, I actually was that person, voted most humorous. So it kind of just was the thing to do. Like, I know I'm gonna be a comedian, so. You know, I was the class clown.
And did mama have to come up in rollers and get you from school?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I went through all those situations where the bathrobe was there.
Okay.
The curlers was there. Yeah, mama came in and yeah, I went through those situations.
People were like, Sizzle, your mama's here.
That's it.
Okay, and this is your beautiful, beautiful wife,
yes,
Renita Ray.
Yes, 20 years. We're about to be 20 years in the game.
All right.
Yeah. 20 years.
So, Miss Renita Ray, when you met your beautiful, wonderful comedic husband, was he funny?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me.
You're so welcome.
And yes, that's what caught my eye about him.
Well, first I was fine. That's what caught the eye.
Yes, that part too. Yes, he was over there clowning with his friends, and I was sitting up there twiddling my thumbs, and I looked up like, who is that guy?
I mean, yeah.
And he cray too. Let me go see.
Okay. Yeah, comedians will bring out the cray.
Yes.
So you guys have been kind of tearing up this Inland Empire with your comedy. And so you guys work as well with the community, and you definitely are trying to help the community. What are some of the opportunities that your comedy has allowed you to assist those who are challenged in the community?
Well, we're blessed and honored to be able to work with the community. And, you know, coming from a background of being a licensed life coach, I was working in group homes for over 15 years dealing with at-risk youth. And so my passion is to see young people have a voice and someone's listening to them. A lot of times there's a misconnect with the generations. They don't know how to, relate to one another, and they don't know how to help each other. But I'm blessed to know that, with comedy, it breaks down a lot of walls. When people can laugh, they feel like they can trust you, And so when the young people are laughing and having fun with me, now they can open up and they can be able to talk to me. And then based on what I've learned in my background, and, I'm able to share and help these young people and give more back to our community.
How do you, when you're looking at a young person, what about them says, you know what, he's funny, he could be a comedian? When they see you, do they say, I want to be a comedian too?
Yeah, I have a lot of kids that they'll come up to me and like, says, I want to be a comedian just like you. I want to be a comedian just like you. Well, for me, I look at it like you have those one individuals, and I tell a lot of parents too to pay attention to that, because a lot of times we would think that a kid is just hyperactive or he's doing too much, and really that's their way of trying to express their talent. They might be, they're not a singer. So that if your child is a singer, it's easy to say, okay, they're a singer, he's always singing, that makes sense. But what do you do for a child that's a comedian?
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know how to deal with a child that's a comic. Oh, you too silly, you do this. I got whooped for a lot of stuff that now I'm getting paid for.
Right. Be like, see, mama? See?
Yeah, I'm like, I told you, it was a child. If I do this, they're going to pay me. He's like, sit your behind that, I said. And now it's paying off, so yeah. But that's what I notice when I look at young people and I see them with that energy, and some of them, you can just see like, oh, he's gonna be funny. Just the way they carry themselves, they always make little facial expressions. They always want to be the life of the party.
Right.
And they don't try to be, it's not like they're trying to take the show. It's just something in them that say, I'm supposed to be in the front and everybody's supposed to watch me.
Right.
And I'm supposed to entertain everyone.
You guys have, you've been doing it for 21 years. Has there ever been a time when it just wasn't funny for you anymore? You were just done with this? Or you just wanted to pause for a minute because it was just too much for you?
Yeah, well, it has been a lot of times like that in this game because it's like when you start to look, especially the way the game has changed now.
Mhm.
Like when you started back in the day when you were a comedian, it's like you got to go to the clubs, you go get the exposure, the agents will find you, you start getting on TV, you go like that. Well, now the game has changed to where I came from that era of like grind it out, get a management team, do this like the old school way. But then now comedy is like, oh, get on YouTube or
Right.
social media, and if you get 1 million hits, you're already a sensation.
Star.
So everything has kind of changed. And what was the other part of your question you asked?
Oh, forgot. Sorry, but
as far as giving up, yeah, it's been times where I did want to quit because it's like you've been doing it so long, and then you look at other people that may be doing it as long as you are less than you,
right.
and that gets discouraging sometimes. You're like, wait a minute, I've been in the game 20 plus years, and all of a sudden this guy comes in the game 5 years, and I'm not hating on it,
Right.
but it's like, how did that happen?
Right.
And it's like if we're all supposed to be working, and if this is what it says, you work hard, you gotta grind, and then you'll get your break. But it gets discouraging. But when you start to realize, like, the average comedian takes them 15 to 20 years before they actually get their big break.
Right.
We only see them on TV and think they just got funny overnight.
Right.
Like Kevin Hart or different ones that are doing it.
Mhm.
These cats been in the game 19, 20 years
Right.
before they even got their big break.
Don't you hate that when they say you're an overnight
Yeah,
sensation?
and it's like, you don't know
You're like,
my
what a
story.
long night.
Yeah, that was
That's too
a
long.
super long night, right? Wake me up.
Okay, please.
Yeah.
And Renita, you have been managing him. Did you start off as manager, or you just said, look here, I'll take care of it?
No, I did not start off as his manager. I think I'm manager number 4.
Okay.
Right.
He has some, we'll just say, different type of management.
Okay.
So it just kind of happened, maybe a couple of years into him doing his thing.
Mhm.
Like, we're going to have you manage me so we can keep this money in-house.
That's it.
So over time, he's trained me saying, this is how you do this. This is a good way to do this. And I'm just listening. A lot of times I would buck up against because it's like you're wearing the hat as management, but hey, I'm still your wife.
Right.
Like,
right.
Are you talking to wife or are you talking to manager?
Let's figure out who's taking you home.
Right,
Yeah.
that part.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we do.
Now, you said that was a challenge, obviously, sometimes with you guys, but do you find, now this is just, boss to boss,
Yes.
do you find as a woman, as a female, that you're just getting that resistance because they're kind of going, oh, no, I want to talk to Sizzle? And it'd be like, manager?
Yes, in the beginning, yes, it was like that. But over the years, it's just like he doesn't even give them any personal information connecting to him. It's always, well, here's my manager, here's my manager. Only time he does direct is if he's dealing with comedians.
Okay.
So comedian to comedian, they have their own thing. So other than that, I pretty much handle all the behind the scene work.
And for me, it took a little while. I had to, like, in the beginning, I was kind of like micromanaging because, like, I know what I want. I know what's going on. I kind of see this thing, And it's like she didn't come from an entertainment world. I started off playing drums and doing bands and stuff like that, so I kind of know the industry a little bit, but I just had to tap into the comedy side because that's really what I needed to do.
Right.
And so by showing her the ropes and giving her, opportunities to know how to do it, we could connect, on that level, and she's able to really keep like you said, keep it in the house,
Right.
And that's
All the
so
coins
important.
at the
And then to
house.
make sure you got somebody you trust. That's so important to have management people you trust that's going to have your best interest. That when they go in that office, because sometimes you may not be there in that meeting,
Right.
they're going to take that meeting on your behalf. Are they going to have your interest? Are they doing something behind closed doors?
Exactly.
I've had that happen. People work deals. All of a sudden, I'm coming out with less than I find out. I'm like 90% of less than what I'm supposed to get. So I'm getting 10%.
Right.
Like I'm the management.
And you did the work.
Yeah. So, but you start learning that and just being wise and saying, okay, I already know this young lady here is very smart. She ran her own daycare. We're doing everything already. So I'm like, you're business already. Why are we not doing that here? It's just a different, tool to do things, but let's go this way.
It sounds like that's purpose. That's a part of your purpose. You kind of been doing it over here, and now you know what it was all about.
Yeah, I didn't
now you got
realize
to be
that
the
at
manager.
first, but yes.
That's great. That's great. So you guys are doing Christian comedy. Let's talk about the difference between, other than the cuss words,
Right.
but the difference between doing a Christian comedy set and club, because you have a Christian club, Christian comedy club, correct? Or just a comedy club?
We do a clean
comedy.
Clean comedy, yeah.
Yeah.
I like to explain to people because a lot of people, because I do all the churches. I've been doing, when I first started, I was doing a lot of churches. That was our main audience, churches and nonprofit organizations, which we still do a lot of those, which is still our main audience. But for me, I'm a clean comedian who's a Christian.
Yes.
So it's like that way I don't get put in a box where, oh, you're a Christian comedian. Because if I say I'm a Christian comedian, I can't do a lot of schools.
Right.
I can't do certain corporate events.
Mhm.
But if I say I'm a clean comedian, then it opens up the box so I can just do anything.
Yeah.
And now I'm not stuck in one thing because I got to work all the time.
Right.
So I need to be able to be funny in every situation, not just a church, you know. So, and with our club, we wanted to make it more a community situation because we were doing things for the church. And I've learned, and my wife will tell you as well, as when we were doing these shows in the churches and stuff, what happens a lot of times is trying to bring the community together because I'm feeling like we need to get the people together. I come from the church, and one thing I've noticed in the church is that we forsake the fellowship of the brethren.
Right.
You know, they always talk about everything else, but we don't come together only but for church stuff. So it's like, when do we ever have fun together?
Right.
When do we ever get to meet each other?
That's
you know, and that's why people are single so long in church because they don't have no other events to go and find out if you really want to talk. You can't know if you love somebody by Hika Mashanda. Like, that ain't gonna work.
That's for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So
like, who is she?
Right. You need a regular event. So that's what we want to do. And now by us taking it out of the churches so much and doing it in a place where it's neutral, because I'm thinking like, oh, it's a church, all the church folks will come together in this church. That doesn't happen like that. Found out that when it comes to different denominations, you know, this denomination don't rock with this denomination, Baptist and Kojic and AME, and so it's all these different denominations.
Why do you think that is? I've been doing, look here, I've been in the business for years, okay? And I have put on some things as well, and trying to get the churches to come together on one accord has been so difficult. They will ask me, well, what church are you doing this for?
Right.
Or what church are you? I'm doing it for the Lord. You know him?
Right. Yeah, and it's a lot of division because of that. And I think it's because people feel the competition, especially when it's like you're going to be seen. Because I came to your event, one of your events when you did the big concert. They changed it to Toyota Center, but it was the Citizens Bank Arena. Amazing event you did. And I'm looking at it like, I was really inspired and impressed by what you did, because I'm like, how do you do it to this level to have this many church folks come together? Like, it was packed in there.
It's to me, it's such a sign of sometimes a little bit of lack of humility, because when some of the churches, and I'm not ragging on my churches, all y'all pastors that I know, you know, I done talked to you already, so this is relax. But what I'm saying is, it is, just sometimes when they want to be noticed as at the smaller level, the humility level of we've just started and we just appreciate your attention, they want to come to something. Think of a small church pastor of 15 members or 50, let's say, and he has a personal invitation from somebody who's doing something in a greater scale of a big artist who they could never afford.
Right.
They're honored to come. So they making people, my whole church coming. I know they are. Well, that's 50 I don't have to worry about. Because not only is his 50 coming, but his 50 people's friends are going to come.
They're going to come.
Because he's now, she came to me. And I'm like, well, there you go.
Yeah.
As opposed to the ones, some of the churches that can afford to do it themselves, then they're like, I'll just invite them to my church.
You had it packed. That event was amazing. I mean, and I like both of the ones I went to. I think you had a couple of them, like 4 or 5 of them, but I went to 2 of them for sure. And every time I'm like, in the Citizens Bank Arena, I'm like, how are you bringing this many churches together? That's been the thing for us. And I'm like, even to that point where it made me say, okay, let's step out of the church and let's find a community center to where we can make it neutral, so where all the churches could come and they don't have to feel like, oh, you're representing this church, you represent that church. Right. It's like, now we just have to create our own brand and say, okay, no, it's Nita Ray's Comedy Lounge. Yeah. You know, come on out to our comedy lounge every Friday night. That's what it's all about. And now you can come and be neutral. It doesn't have to be this church, I'm honoring this church. You know, it's just a neutral place.
And it's really funny because in heaven, it's going to be just all access.
Come on, somebody.
Yeah, all access church. Oh, hallelujah, heaven. Can't wait to get there. Anyway, so I'm glad you mentioned that. And so, you know, for those of you who are watching, I think, let's just think about it. Just take a minute and go, I wonder what she's talking about.
That's good.
But I've been to their comedy club, and I had a great time.
Yes,
it is funny people that are coming through the door. And one of the things I want you guys to know, you know, those of who are watching and those who are here, it is every Friday.
Every Friday.
So every time you go, oh, what Friday? I can't make it. Okay, well, come to the next Friday.
Right.
So you can't say that all the time. So please support, because a lot of times God is calling you to do something for the community, and we will jump over those that are starting something that is great and go to someone that's established. And then they don't get any support.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not right, and it's not godly, first of all.
Right.
And so this is someone who is a Christian that is doing something, and we all can laugh, you know, and we all, you know, as this whole show is about, it's about persistence. And sometimes when we're struggling and we're doing something, we need just a good laugh.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, but if I'm just down and depressed and I can find a good old comedy show or something, or, you know, I done slipped in Sizzle's CD. You know what I'm saying? I sure did. How many you got, Sizzle?
I got about 7.
7. I've one. But I'm going to watch the other ones
we'll get
after the show. But the one that I did listen to, it was so funny. And I afterwards, you just think about life differently. And then you get back on that course to purpose. Yes, sir.
But Bridget, you know, it's so funny that you say that, because I was talking to my wife and I was thinking about, like, you know, a lot of times in the church, how they say that the church is the hospital, right? And they say the church is the hospital, church is the hospital. Well, I told my wife, I said, because they already building enough churches. We got plenty of churches. But what we don't have, you got a lot of hospitals. If we look at it as the church is the hospital, that means we have enough hospitals, spiritual hospitals, enough of them. What we don't have enough of is pharmacies.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
See, so I'm looking at it like this, like, everything doesn't require the hospital. You don't need a hospital right now. Like, you don't need somebody to lay hands on you right now. You're good, but you're aggravated right now for the day, or you're frustrated. It's been a hot day and you're just bothered and you want to go laugh and have a good time. I'm like that. You come over to the pharmacy. You don't need to go to the hospital. You might just need a little NyQuil.
That's it.
So go to sleep and you'll be fine the next day.
I'll be so good.
So I'm like, come to the pharmacy.
You know what I'm saying? Come to the spiritual pharmacy.
There you go.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I definitely understand, and I think it's necessary. I think that we should all support, you know, and support his comedy club for sure.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and every Friday night.
Yes.
It's in Rialto.
Rialto, every Friday.
So if you know about it and you're local, if you're not, you're out of the country, just fly in.
Come on in.
Just go to Rialto.
Come on in. We'll fly. Come on in.
Just right on out. You get you right on out. So anyway, I appreciate you guys, and I am so happy to have you guys here. I've seen your work. I appreciate your work.
Thank you. Thank
I am a full sponsor. This show is a sponsor of your work.
Thank you so much.
And you guys are doing an awesome job. Renita, I know that you are working yourself to death.
Yes, she is.
For sure, though, because I was even
is.
trying to convince her, because you know that every Friday thing. I was like, girl, don't you need some time of pause? Don't do it every Friday. How about do it every other Friday? She's like, no, no, no. And so I'm going to tell you, the people are coming. So if you haven't been there, you need to be there, because folks is talking about it, and you're going to be in the room going, what? I don't know what you're talking about. So please go and support them. I love you guys.
We love you.
Too.
You so
Wherever
much.
I go, you go.
And congratulations, too, on your talk show. This is so amazing. Beautiful. I'm really, really honored that you allowed us to be one of your guests.
Yes.
So I'm just really grateful, and we're just happy to be here. And
Thank you.
just much love and success to everything you're doing, because everything you touch seems like it just turns to gold.
Oh,
so touch me. Touch me. There it is.
I'm going to go home and touch my bills, too. Stop.
Won't he do it?
Won't he do it? Anyway, I appreciate you guys for being here. I want to thank you guys, the viewing audience. You guys could have watched any other show, but you're watching mine, and I appreciate that. For my live audience, you guys are the best audience in the world. Well, thank you for coming, and I have a question for you. The question I ask every time I have this show is purpose. If not now, when?
See, with Sprint, they know you got 30 days. If you don't like it, you can opt out the contract. So they play you. I'm serious. They play you. They give you Heather. Oh, I love Heather. That little white lady knows everything about why he left from Verizon. Now he works at Sprint. She can tell you all the business. I love Heather. Heather. I love her. She's amazing, right? You call. They answer on the first ring. Thank you for calling Sprint. This is Heather. How may I help you? Like, dang, Heather, that was quick. I just want to check my plan, because you know Sprint be lying a lot. I just want to make sure I have the all unlimited plan. Now, brothers, you got to be careful, because this is how she lock you in. You got to be careful, because she'll lock you in. This is what she do. Everything you want is unlimited. It's all yours. You can have whatever you want. I was like, Heather, you better stop talking like that. My wife in the other room. I got a black wife. She came in like, who you talking to? I said, calm down, boo. Calm down. This is Jake from State Farm. I don't want no problems. Bring you the vision in the house. Now, family, so that some people don't know me, those that do, you know, I don't talk about people in my comedy. That's not what I do. I just tell you what I saw. I'm like a news reporter. If I see it, I say it. That's what happened. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. After 30 days, you don't get Heather any longer. You know who you get. Do you know who you get? Habib Akbar. Oh, I ain't making this up. You get Habib Akbar, and it's a whole different game plan. They take 1,001 rings before they answer the phone. You able to whoop your kids, make love to your wife and everything before you get on the phone. I'm not making this up. You call in. Sit down for a poppy. I'm not playing with Pop. You think I'm playing? Do it again. Do it again. Didn't I tell you not to move? Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. Now here it comes. I tell people you got to be careful because customer service trying to make people curse. They trying to get you. They trying to get you. Here you go. Oh my goodness. Thank you for calling the customer service line. How many monitors is on the phone? That is too many monitors. You call many monitors. So I tell him like this, look here, Habib. Let me talk to Heather. No, Heather is no longer with the company. If you want to speak to someone, you have to speak to me. I'm the one over your bill. Are you going to pay your doodle? I said, Peter, what? Are you going to pay your doodle? The whole bill, are you going to pay it? Are you going to pay it? I said, Habib, look, I don't make fun of people. That's not what I do. I don't understand what you're saying, sir. Maybe you text it to me. Let me read. You get that, oh, you Mr. Funny Man with the jokes. You Mr. Funny Man. I said, no, I really don't understand you. Let me talk to your manager. Now he'll say, oh, okay. Now, I've been placed on hold a lot of times. Now, when you're placed on hold, people, you get on hold music, am I right? It's nice on hold music. See how we on hold? Nice on hold music. It gets good sometimes. Sometimes it gets so good you feel it like. Right? Habib did not put me on hold. He put me on a hold. Now let me tell you something. It's a difference when you place on hold and when you place on a hold. It's a difference. I didn't know this. It's a difference. He said, can I place you on the hold? I said, what? Can I place you on the hold? I said, Habib, what do you say? Can I place you on the hold? I said, go ahead. He said, hold for the music. I don't know why he acted like I didn't know it was him doing the music with his mouth. I knew it was him. No, I'm serious. I knew it was him. He was like, can I place you on the hold? Hold for the music. Oh, no,